What's up, guys? And this is the first video of this channel, and I'm going to be talking about the Toronto Blue Jays versus the Chicago White Sox. Now, starting off, this is just an everything you need to know. Now, some stuff I'm saying in here you probably already know. I'm just saying it to those people who don't know a lot about baseball and just going to a game for fun. Alright, now looking at the team stats for this season right now, you can see that the Blue Jays have played one more game. They've had 6 more at-bats, which will change after this game because the Chicago White Sox will probably pass them because you don't have 6 at-bats in one game. That's just not ever going to happen. For runs, this is one of the reasons why Toronto Blue Jays have been doing so well, and somewhat well, I should say, is because they've scored 44 runs more than the Chicago White Sox, they are in the 4th place. Now you can see why, because they haven't been scoring all the runs. Hits, only 3 more, which means usually that the team that has less runs but has basically the same hits means that they aren't really getting on base and getting the other guys in that are already on base. Now doubles this season, which means getting to second base on 1 hit, is Blue Jays are ahead, which gets them to second base. Now that's in scoring position, so that's basically if a guy just gets a base hit but not too hard directly at maybe an outfielder, you're pretty much going to get home. Now third base, which is a triple, which means you get to third base, is as long as someone just gets on first and they got to throw them out, you're going to be getting home. Now you can see the Toronto Blue Jays aren't up there as much as the Chicago White Sox, but that is also because Blue Jays aren't about speed. They are about power and contact. Because look at the home runs now. You see that? Now that's what I mean by they aren't getting the third bases, because they are power hitters and they're able to get home runs. Look at the RBIs. That just shows that they're able to drive in runs rather than the Chicago White Sox. Now, for strikeouts, you can see the pitchers have struggled at the beginning of the year, because if you look at other teams, they're up there maybe in the 650s or even 700s. Now, if you look at the average for the teams, they're basically the same. It's going to change from how well these teams do. So really, pitchers got to be careful and just hope for the best for Aaron Sanchez and Carlos Rondon, I think it's sounded like. Now, on base percentage, 326 for the Blue Jays just means that they are getting on base more than the Chicago White Sox, which also goes with getting in runs and stuff. Alright, guys, now looking at the standings, you can see that Toronto's in 3rd place, only 2.5 games back from 1st place with Baltimore, so they could easily tie it up if they win the series and if Baltimore loses. The only thing is you look at, now Toronto has won 40 games and lost 34, but if you look at Baltimore, they've only won 41. Now you think only 1 game back then, but if you look at their losses, they're only at 30. So their percentage of winning those next games is very high because they've played 3 more games than Toronto has. Now, if you look at Chicago here, they can't seem to get their wins out. Now, with games behind, they're behind by 6. Now, that's about the same by New York, so they basically got to pull up in front of Detroit by winning the series without Detroit winning another game. Now, with Aaron Sanchez, he's been tearing it up lately with a 3.35 ERA, which means earned run average, which means so let's say the other team gets a hit and they get driven home, that would put it on his ERA. So that's basically how many runs he lets happen during the game. Now he has 89 strikeouts because of his changeup. His changeup is deadly. People are scared, not for the speed, but for how it moves. 7-1 you can see there. But for Carlos Rondon, it's basically the exact opposite. 2-6, he's just been troubles like cleaning up the games by not finishing it well, with a 4.16 ERA and 74 strikeouts, which is way lower because he doesn't have the right pitch to get him out, and he's just letting him get on base, or it's a ground out or a pop out for his team to get. Now, guys, we are looking at team versus team for batting average, tops, home runs, RBI, on-base percentage, and hits. Now, if you look at batting average, Michael Saunders is leading the Blue Jays with a 304 average, which is very good. It is better than most teams is, I think, but it would be better if that got up to maybe a 315, 320. Edwin Encarnacion, the Edwin Wing, I should say, actually, because he as a signature move when he runs around the bases. He ended up having home runs number 19, or home run number 19. Oh my gosh. Restart. Okay, guys, now we're looking at team versus team with batting leaders. Batting average, Michael Saunders is leading with 304, which is very good at this time of the season after playing 74 games. You look at home runs now, Edwin Encarnacion has 19 right now. He just hit his 19th last game against Arizona. And for RBIs, it doesn't really not make sense, I should say. Because with all his home runs, he's definitely driving in some runs with that, and he's driving in himself. Now, if you look for on-base percentage, which stands for OBP, Josh Donaldson, 391, which is very good, so he's getting on base. And usually Edwin is also hitting behind him, which means that he can easily drive him home. If you look at hits, Josh Donaldson is up there, which seems right for his stats right now with the on-base percentage. You're obviously got to get hits to get on base. For batting average, you can look at Melky Cabrera. He's one of their big hitters, just like Edwin Encarnacion, at a 289. Todd Frazier with 21 home runs, which is very good at this time of the season. RBIs with 48, less than Edwin, which means his team isn't getting on base. Now, if you go all the way back to the beginning with all the team stats and see that they aren't getting on base and stuff, which doesn't help them. But you look at the on-base percentage, Adam Eaton's getting on very well with his 364, and he's getting 80 hits so far this season. Now that's better than Josh Donaldson, and Josh Donaldson was AL MVP, so most valuable player in the American League, which both teams here are. Alright guys, now who do I think will win? I think the Blue Jays will actually win. I am a bit biased here, but I want Blue Jays to win. I would love the White Sox to win, but man, I gotta cheer for Blue Jays. For Aaron Sanchez, he has been tearing it up with 7-1. Just self-explanatory. 89 strikeouts. That changeup is gonna kill the White Sox. Carlos Rodon isn't getting it done. Can't finish up. Now, going into... Alright guys, now record in the past for the Blue Jays. You can see that they did win 2 at the beginning of the year, which did help them. But then they lost 1 to the Red Sox and won 1 against the Red Sox. And then they lost 11-0 against the Tigers. They lost again against Tigers and they won. And then they've just been going 500. They did sweep a series last month, which was absolutely crazy. And yeah, it was awesome because it was their first sweep in a whole long time. Now, for the Blue Jays, with their calendar, yeah, they've been going 500. So, with Aaron Sanchez today, today that you're going to be watching, I so hope that Aaron Sanchez can play amazing, and hopefully, Blue Jays can maybe sweep the White Sox. Now, guys, going on to the White Sox, you can see that they have lost 4 in a row at the beginning of the month after they went to the Mets. But then they've been going 500, just like the Blue Jays. So, with Carlos Rodon and against Aaron Sanchez again, once again, the pitcher's big part in this series, it's going to matter a lot. So, that's a big reason, once again, why the Blue Jays should be winning and will win, I should say, or hopefully win, against the White Sox. Now guys, that is going to do it for this video. Hopefully I can do maybe game 2 and 3, or maybe another series, maybe against the Rockies. That's coming up after this series. And yeah, thanks for watching.